Hey crafty people! Welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Welcome back. Today we are gonna make a little like matchbook style journal folio thing that's sized to fit your 6x6 paper pads, because if you don't know, I have a weakness for minty papers, and I tend to buy their 6x6 paper pads and then they sit in a drawer and don't get used. But yeah, so I am going to be using the Peony Garden paper pad, which is just gorgeous. This came out I think last year, so I don't know if it's still available anywhere, but you can use whatever 6x6 paper pad you have. Now, the Mintay Papers pads come with 24 double-sided printed sheets, which means you can actually make two of this project from one paper pad if you so desire. Now, what you need in addition to your 6x6 papers is 5 sheets of paper. One page you are going to cut down to 6 1/4 by 8. And then the remaining 4 pages you're going to cut down to 6 1/4 by 6 3/4. So those are the papers we're going to use. I am using, this is Cardstock Warehouse Pop Tone Collection. The color Sour Apple, and it's the 100-pound cover, which is a nice weight. I tend to use 100-pound when I'm doing like folios like this, because it just adds a little bit more weight to it than your lighter papers, obviously. So what we're going to start by doing is I'm going to pull out my scoreboard, and I can't find my scoring tool. Like it went disappeared on me, because usually I use the smaller one of this for scoring with, but I can't seem to find it, so we'll use the scoring tool that comes with the scoreboard. The reason I tend not to use it is because, see, this thickness means it makes a thicker fold than when I use my like pokey tool scoring tool for it. But for our 4 smaller pieces, we are just going to score at a 1/2 inch on each page. Score all of those at a 1/2 inch. And let me clarify, on the 6 3/4 inch side, we're going to score at a 1/2 inch. Now, on our 8 by 6 1/4 piece, we're going to score again at that 1/2 inch. Then we are going to score in, hold on, I have this written down because I did a practice one. We are going to score in at 7, and then 6 3/4. Because this is what we're going to end up creating. It's going to have the pages folded, and I don't know that I'm going to glue them together. I haven't decided yet. Again, I did it on the first one, but we're going to see how it goes with adding papers. This is some just scrap copy paper kind of stuff that I used. All right, so those are all of our scores, and I will leave those, the measurements and the scores, listed in the description box down below. So we're just gonna fold and crease all of our fold lines, and this one we're gonna kind of do back and forward, because we want our pages to kind of fold along there, and then our 1/4 inch gusset for our closure on the front. So this piece is our last page, it's our back page. And then let's see if we can get this to fold nicely. So this is going to be our back page. So let's fold these crease them down. And I'm just gonna bend it back because, again, they're gonna be attached to each other like this. So we want our pages to fold open nicely. Okay, next step is I'm going to take my centering ruler and my last page. Let's start with that. I'm going to use the lines on my grid to help keep me straight. I'm going to mark where I'm going to put holes. So as long as you've got the same distance on either side, your center. I think what I did on my sample was I went 1.5 inches over and 1.5 inches over from center and put my holes there. Let's grab the crocodile and we're gonna just put 1/8 inch holes in, which I think are the right ones for the brads that I think I'm gonna be using. Now for the rest of them, I'm gonna line them up and mark where my holes go. I think I can do 2 at a time, so I think we're gonna do these 2. All right. Next step, we are gonna glue all of our pages together. Just be sure not to glue past your score lines on the end. So these little tabs are gonna be our glue them together points. Okay, let's wait until that sets up a little bit better before we try folding. I'm gonna do this. I'm noticing I did not get my holes lined up exactly right. Hopefully I'll be able to come in and adjust that. I'm gonna wait until the glue dries because otherwise I'm gonna gunk up my thing. That's okay, we can work on the rest of it. Let's grab my papers over and we're gonna make some decisions. So here are the papers. We've got that page, this one, and these are the cut apart page. There's 2 of those. You'll have one of these left over for decorating after we're done assembling. Page back at the beginning. Now that one, and that's... Somehow these got all kinds of mixed up. Oh, because I pulled over and I didn't grab the first page, that's why. Okay. Oi. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is decide what we want for our cover page, and I think I want this, because what we're gonna do is use a cut apart as our closure mechanism. So I want to go with a plain piece for the front, because otherwise we'd mess up this image if we put like a cut apart, because I figured what we could do is have a cut apart serve as like a little tuck under. So if we do this and then put one of these down, say that one, we can tuck this flap underneath. And this is going to get bulked up a bit once we start adding our pages. So let's go ahead and add this page on. Now we're going to open up to our first page. And now that we've got it glued, hopefully well enough, we're just going to come in and reinforce that fold a little bit. And I think I want to make sure I get that gorgeous scene. This one will be our first page on the inside, like so. Now, I had thought about this and then forgot. This green's a little bit brighter than our paper. I could have come in and inked, but given the fact that most of it's going to end up getting covered up, I don't think it's a problem that I didn't ink the edges around. But you can always come in and ink to adjust the color if you want. Let's do this and then decide what page we're going to put next. That's a little busy. Got that or that. I think I'm going to use that for the back. Again, too much going on next to each other. That's a contender. Let's go with that one. To make sure I don't forget to put this one in, which is the other side of that page, we're going to go ahead and do that now. And we're going to set it on this side. All right, let's see what we've got left. We got that guy and that, this guy, and this one we haven't used because we used that side. So maybe we'll go there. Crackle or flowers. I think these two work together, so this is what we'll do for this page. Now just make sure when you're putting your page on this one, you don't glue over your fold lines. I realized having put the pages in, I should have adjusted my gusset a little bit over because there's not quite enough room, and I apparently didn't get one of the pages in quite right, so I may trim that sucker down. All right, we're gonna do it. Let's hold our breath here for a sec. Flap closes a little bit better, but yeah, I'm thinking what I probably should have done was add an extra 1/4 inch to this, or 1/8 of an inch to this, so that I could do it an 1/8 of an inch over. So yeah, I may list those as alternate measurements down below for anyone who wants to try this, because yeah, that's the one downside with making my prototype using the lightweight paper, is stuff like that isn't as obvious until you use your heavier weight paper. Okay, so I decided I couldn't just leave it with the messed up measurement on the back piece. So I've already done the 4 pages because nothing's changing for that. So for the back piece, what I did was I increased it to 8 1/4 by 6 1/4, scored it a 1/2 inch, 7 inches, and 7 1/4 inches. So let's just go ahead and do our folds. And so we will then glue this part down. And so that's our gusset, and there's more room over here so that it doesn't butt up against our pages like with the original one, like our original one, which is that. This one's got extra space. So I will put the corrected measurements down below. You could also probably have I could have probably just done an 1/8 of an extra bit, but that can be kind of a pain in the neck, and not everyone's is a fan of using 1/8 of an inch in their projects. So I went ahead and did a 1/4 inch. So I am now going to return to the original video where I show you the rest of the decorating of this guy. There we go. And so what we have left is our 2 cut apart pages. Now, I think that's what I want for my closure cut apart. So what we need to do is we need to cover our little flap. And since that's an inch, I'm gonna need to do a couple pieces that are 3/4 of an inch. I also want to cover our 1/2 inch section over here. So 1/4 inch each. No, that's not gonna work. We're gonna do the full 1/2 inch and just cover that section completely. And then let's go ahead and cut this out while we're at it. All right, now I want to round my corners on this. So let's round our corners on this guy. Just make sure you're paying attention. Although this isn't too bad, I probably could do it upside down and you wouldn't really notice, but wish I'd been paying better attention. I probably would have cut this strip for the side because it's this pattern, only smaller, and I would have preferred like the contrast, but it's too late now. So we're just gonna go ahead and glue that down. Now, instead of doing what I'm gonna do, which is Okay, so I was originally thinking I was gonna tuck this under this flap, like have this on glued on like this and tuck this under, but as I'm working on this, I'm realizing it's not, I don't have enough space to like get it to go under, if that makes any sense. So we are gonna do magnets. And I have a way we can fix the fact that the magnet is going to be showing on the other side. I think I may be able to implant it, but I don't know if I want to do that versus, all right, as I'm mumbling off and you're like, what on earth is she talking about? Okay, so we're going to make sure that the piece will cover it. Yes, it will. Let's round the corners on this. I'm going to take my basic gray magnets. I'm going to put the first magnet on. It's going to go there. So it's going to go there. We're going to glue our piece of paper over top so that you don't see the magnet. And then the other side goes there. And we are just gonna cover it up with this or some other decoration, because yeah, that was not ideal. Oy. I really should have made one of these off camera completely instead of just the lightweight paper prototype so that I could work out all of these kinks before I came on. All right, we're gonna go through and fix our hole. Okay, it might be, I wasn't sure I'd be able to punch through all the layers, which was why I didn't just wait until after I glued to punch my holes, but apparently I could. I'm going to do silver eyelets in here, but I want to color them with some alcohol ink marker. I grabbed some R22, and I'm just going to take out 2 eyelets. Pair of tweezers. And color it so that it's pink instead of silver. So you can see the difference. So there's the inked one, there's the uninked one. So it's a subtle difference, but it's there. And before we attach those, we need to attach these strips of paper because our eyelets need to go through them. So we're going to glue those on. We're going to glue them on one at a time so that we can punch the holes. So there we go, and then we'll attach the piece on the back. Okay, then we're going to stick our eyelets in. Okay, so I thought they were going to be wide enough, but they're not. So what I'm going to do is glue them on. Just put a little glue around our hole. Stick our eyelet through. Gonna do the same over here. Stick our little eyelet through. And then take the little backer pieces and glue them on the back. Although I'm going to color them with my marker first. So we have the look of eyelets without actually having set eyelets on there. All right, this has definitely been an improvisational project. Now let's do a little bit of decorating. I bought the coordinating pack of die cuts that goes with this. So let's open that up. And let's just pour it out over here on the side. And that tree's really calling to me for our front cover. All right, we're gonna ink the edges of these guys just to get them to stand out a little bit more. Let's start with that while I'm having a bit of a think, because I like that idea. It just helps this little butterfly stand out a little bit more against our background. All right, let's start gluing things down. All right, we're gonna take the packaging and we are gonna do 1 inch circle, 1 inch circle. Ah, here it is. There we go. Can't even see it anymore. All right, that works. I actually think that kind of works for me. All right, let's do that. And these are offcuts from Tim Holtz Sizzix die. All right, that works. Let's open up to this page. think I want the kitty cat here, but I want something behind it. I'm trying to decide if I like that color or... All right, I like this one better, which provides more contrast behind our little kitty cat. And this was die cut out of a magazine. So yeah, I've got a bunch of magazine pages that I was die cutting things like that out of, where you can't tell what the image is, but it makes for a pretty die cut doily. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue the doily to the back of the kitty, because I want the kitty to be a tuck spot, but I want the doily, because it's magazine paper and very delicate, to be fully glued down. And then I'm going to use this little bit we had left over to kind of ground the kitty in the doily. So you can tuck a photo in there like so. You just take this and make sure I've got as much space as possible. So you could tuck a photo in and have the little kitty sitting on top of it, just like that. Like that. All right, so let's come over here. It needs to go on a lighter page. We're going to ink the edges of this, again, to help it stand out a bit more. And actually, we can stick it up there to serve as a tuck spot, and then maybe add a flower or two. All right, we're going to use this one because I don't want the super delicate bits to not be glued down to serve for the tuck spot. Just trying to decide if it needs something behind it to help it stand out. All right, we're going to pause on that for a sec. I think I like this, but I think I kind of want to round the corners just teeny tiny bit. We'll use the teeny tiny rounder. Just a little bit of glue at the top. And then our flower kind of there. And again, I'm gonna ink our edges, help them stand out just a little bit more. Again, you can tuck something up under there, you can tuck it to about there, you stick it in the middle. That's definitely going to need something I think that'll work. Actually, this one I'm going to round the corners on as well. And we're going to do all of the corners. I think I know what I may want to go there. Let's see how this looks. If we no, it doesn't stand out enough. That does stand out better. I just want to see how much bulk that adds. Not too bad. I think that's what we're going to go with. We're going to create a belly band. Let it dry before I glue it onto the page, just in case there's any glue seepage. I'm just going to come in and double check I've got everything I want glued down. Glued down. Normally I pull up my fabric tack, but I'm being a little lazy. And our glitter glue will actually glue fabric. It just, whereas fabric tack will seal it or will adhere immediately, our glitter glue just takes a little bit longer for it to settle, for it to stick. Boy, my brain really does work. I promise you. It just apparently is not working today. I'm just trying to decide if I want to do anything else. And I don't think so, because I don't want to cover up these beautiful papers. I'm letting them do the work for me of decorating those pages. And what I will do is I will take all of the cut aparts and I will go in and cut the extra sheet so that they'll have a set of all of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all 12 of them, and the extras, and tuck them in to our tuck spots so that they know, so whoever gets this knows that you can tuck stuff in behind. Like so. And then tuck these guys in like that. That one I glued on all the way and didn't mean to. Whoopsies. Let's see. What I may do then is take another piece, or no, I think I'll take another one of these. Down the corners. Ink the edges. glued in this corner as a tuck, and we'll just glue along those sides. And we'll put something cute on there. I think that's the winner. So now you can tuck something up in there, and that just serves as page decoration because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. All right, now let's glue this guy on the top and the bottom. There's one last thing I want to do, but we're gonna have to let that glue dry completely before we close this up or move anything around. So let me go get what I need for the last step and we'll finish this up. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is I'm trying to decide if I want to do, this is ink dyed seam binding or some sari silk. I think I may do the sari silk. I think I like the color better. What I'm gonna do is use my easy beater, stick it through my eyelet, try and stick it through my eyelet. This is gonna be a tight fit because it's a small eyelet and that's a small hole. And we're gonna hopefully pull it through without pulling off our eyelet. That is not gonna work. Oh no. All right, we're gonna try and feed this through without using the easy beater. Now some alternatives you could do is you could skip the holes altogether. I just thought they added a nice element. As I was saying, you could skip the holes altogether. I just thought this would add a nice decorative element to stick some ribbon on. You could use brads instead. Now, if you were going to use brads, my suggestion would be to do all the holes, put the top decorative piece on, and then wait until you put the brads in to put the bottom decorative piece on so that you don't have the brad legs showing. Just adding a little bit of a bow. Let's, oops, trim off our excess. And there we go. I like how this came out, and it's another way to use those 6x6 papers. And I like the fact that I can get 2 of these out of 1 paper pad. So there we go. We've got our tuck spot there, our belly band here, which we can add stuff behind, our little up tuck over here, and our little tuck spot over here. Now I'm going to cut these guys out and add them in as well. And probably once I finish creating whatever I'm going to create with the rest of the pack, I'll add some of the fussy cut or the die cut pieces into this piece so that the recipient has them to play with. So yeah, that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.